that? Today we do another thing. What is it?
Enter into a selling forward contract.
Yes. What is the word you should use there? අපි මොකද කියන්නේ? Selling a forward contract මොකද අපි කියන්නේ? Yes. So there were two technical words we used instead of buying and selling. What is it?
Short forward.
Very good. That is short forward. So on the same day, short forward. Right. So after the time period, we'll say it is after 6 months. So what are the tradings that will take place after 6 months? I need your answers. Am I audible?
Yes, madam.
Yeah. What happens after 6 months? Today you will borrow, buy asset and short a forward contract. After 6 months? Very good. You will sell the asset. Sell the asset at forward price. At forward price and repay the loan. Repay the borrowed loan. So we will put some values here. We'll say the asset value was you had to borrow rupees 5,000 and you buy that asset for rupees 5,000. You borrowed rupees 5,000, then you bought the asset for rupees 5,000 and you short a forward contract. So can you suggest a price for the forward contract? What could be the forward price? If the spot market price is 5,000, can you suggest a hypothetical value for the forward contract? Okay, 6,000. Right. So we'll say the forward price is 6,000 rupees. And we'll say the interest rate was 10%. Interest rate 10%. So interest rate was 8%. If it was 8%, after 6 months, you will sell the asset at forward price. That means you will get rupees 6,000. And how much you have to pay back? How much you have to pay to settle this loan if the interest rate was 8%? Kia given on yes. Interest rate take a 8% now. Make a 6 months. You cannot forget that. Yes, so you had to pay 5,200. So you can see the arbitrage profit. It is 800. Right. So implied repo rate. Implied repo rate, it is the rate of return from this trade. Rate of return from this trade. So what is the equation to find the rate of return of a share? How to find the rate of return of a share? How to find the rate? Please tell me you know that and you don't want to tell it. Okay. How to find the holding period yield of a share? Holding period return, holding period yield, rate of return. දැන් මොකද කරන්නේ? ඉගෙන ගත්තේ නෑ කියන තිබ්බ වෙන කෙනෙක් ඉගෙනුවා නම්. ළමයි කොහොමද share එකක rate of return හොයන්නේ? Holding period return එක කීයද? දැන් කාටවත් බැරිද share එකක rate of return හොයන්න? Yes, so this is the that's correct. Net return on investment divided by cost of investment. This is how we find the rate of return of anything, any project or anything. This is how we are going to find. My question is how to find the rate of return of a share? Holding period return හොයන්නේ කොහොමද? Are you serious now? You don't know this? Share එකක rate of return හොයන්න දන්නේ නැද්ද මේ ළමයි? At least one student. No, that is not the answer. So are you all serious now? You don't know how to find the rate of return of a share? You don't know this? You don't know today price minus yesterday price or today price minus previous price? divided by previous price. Holding period return equals closing price divided by opening price. Right, to find the holding period yield, this minus 1. Don't tell me you don't know these things. මේක දන්නේ නැති වෙන්න නම් බෑ නේද? Okay, so this is how we are going to find the rate of return, right? Especially this is for the rate of return for share price changes. So if there was a capital gain, then change in the share price plus there was a dividend, change in the share price, or capital gain plus dividend divided by the purchase price of the share, right? So the same thing is applied here. Same thing is applied here. So the price that you are going to sell it, that will be the future price of, forward price. So forward price minus spot price. This is the price you bought it. This total thing divided by the spot price, simply the gain from buying that from the spot market and selling it in the forward or selling it through a forward contract, and that divided by this will give you the gain. This will give you the gain from this, right? The difference between forward price and spot market price will give you the gain from this cash and carry trade, that divided by your investment. Your investment is purchasing the asset from the spot market. So this is simply the implied repo rate. So in this example, you can see forward price was 6,000 minus spot price 5,000, that divided by 5,000. So the same return equation that we normally use in finance. Net return on investment divided by cost of investment. What is the rate of return you can gain by purchasing an asset in the spot market and selling that in the futures market, or selling that through a forward contract, right? So this is we called as implied repo rate, right? So if we want to find the unannualized implied repo rate, you have to multiply this by 365 divided by D. D means the number of days. For example, in the previous one that we discussed, that was for 6 months. So simply you have to multiply that by 365, or you can take it like months, 12 divided by 6. So that will give you the unannualized implied repo rate, right? Because if I move back to the same example, that was 6,000 minus 5,000 divided by 5,000. This will give you the implied repo rate. And this repo rate is for 6 months. If this is for 6 months, how much for a year? So here you can see 1,000 divided by 5,000, that is 0.2. 0.2 is for 6 months, right? So if this was for 6 months, how much is for 12 months? එකනේ මේකෙන් කියන්නේ නේද? මාස 6කට 0.2 නම් මාස 12කට කීයද? The rate of implied repo rate for 1 year Divide that by 6, multiply that by 12. For 6 months, 0.2. For 12 months, how much? Right, I hope it is clear. So this is nothing new. It is the same way we calculate the rate of return of something. And if that rate of return is for a few months, how to convert that into an annual rate of return? Right, unannualized implied repo rate can be annualized by multiplying that by the number of days and multiplying that by 365 divided by the number of days of the forward contract. If there are carry returns, so in the previous one, there was no carrying return. If there were carrying returns, like if it's for the forward contract or this cash and carry trade is for a share, there will be carrying returns. Right, so if there are carrying returns, this is the equation. Forward price plus carrying return minus spot price, that divided by the spot price, because you had a gain from the difference of spot price and forward price as well as your return. Our share equation එකම තමයි. Right, එතකොට අපි capital gain එක ගන්න කොහොමද? Today price minus yesterday price. Yesterday කියලා අපි කියනවා, නැත්නම් closing price minus anything is okay, right? Closing minus opening price. This will give you the capital gain. Capital gain plus dividend. Right, this total one, this total figure, this gain, we are going to divide by the opening price. Purchase price. Closing price minus purchase price of the share. Anyway is fine. Plus dividend that we receive divided by the purchase price. Net gain divided by the cost of investment. So here we have two gains. One is capital gain and the other one is dividend gain. So to get this gain, we only had to spend, the cost of the investment is only the purchase price of the share. Similar to this, in implied repo rates also, you can see the difference between forward price and spot price will give you the gain from purchasing an asset from spot market and selling it at a futures market. That plus we had a carrying return. That plus carrying return, this total gain from this trade divided by the spot price. To get this total gain, we had to invest only the spot price. Right, I hope this is clear. Please raise your hand if this was clear to you. Okay, 2 students understood it. If it's not clear, you have to let me know. Then I can do it in a different way if possible. Right, so there's another rate which is implied reverse repo rate. So we say the implied reverse repo rate is the rate of return from reverse cash and carry arbitrage. Right, so it is said that it's a borrowing rate. So you can search about implied reverse repo rate, but we most of the time see implied repo rates everywhere. Right, so we are not going to do any calculation for implied reverse repo, but for your information, implied reverse repo is the in derivatives, right? If you go and search for implied reverse repo, implied repo rates, there are these repo markets are there. Reverse repo and repo markets are there. They have different interest rates. Here we are talking about the rate of return from these two types of trades, cash and carry and reverse cash and carry. Then comes to the convenience yield. Convenience yield is normally applicable for commodities, right? It is normally applicable for commodities or physical goods. So financial assets, they do not have any convenience yield or convenience return. So commodities convenience yield means the benefit that a user realized for carrying inventory of the physical good above his or her immediate near-term needs. Convenience yield means the benefit you will get by carrying a physical good or a commodity for some time. Right? For example, keeping crude oil inventories. If you carry crude oil inventories, if you carry it for 1 month, for 2 months, what is your convenience yield? So financial assets, as we said, there's no convenience yield, but agricultural commodities frequently have a high convenience return. Convenience yield is highest when spot shortage of the cash goods. Agricultural commodities frequently have high convenience return. It means it's like this, you know, these agricultural commodities, the supplier cannot quickly increase the supply in agricultural commodities, unlike in other products. For example, the products like other manufacturing products, if there is high demand for this product, the supplier can buy more raw material, employ more employees, and work overtime, right? Use the extra capacity and manufacture more. But agricultural commodities, we cannot quickly increase the supply like that. Agricultural commodities that it takes a considerable time to grow those agricultural those crops and get the harvest. That's why we say it has high convenience return, right? The convenience yield is high when spot shortage of cash goods in the spot market. When the goods are in shortage, the convenience yield will be high, right? So convenience yield cannot be easily measured. Convenience yield, we cannot easily measure the convenience yield. So remember, convenience yield means the benefit or the return a person can gain by carrying commodities or physical goods for a period of time, right? Even though we have this equation, even though we can use this equation, it says it's not easily measured. We cannot easily measure it like in other securities, like the repo rates and all. We cannot measure the convenience yield. Okay, so we calculated the forward price. Now we are going to calculate the forward exchange rate. So we discussed about 3 types of contracts: forward contracts, then forward exchange rate contracts, and also we discussed about forward rate agreement. So the second part, we are going to discuss about forward exchange rate, right? So forward exchange rate, we use this equation to find the value, or to find the forward price of the currency or forward exchange rate. So this is S means spot exchange rate into 1 plus HD means interest rate of the domestic country. 0 to 3 means specific time period, that divided by 1 plus HF means the interest rate of the foreign country, right? Forward exchange rate equals spot price multiplied by 1 plus interest rate of the domestic country divided by 1 plus interest rate of the foreign. So if forward exchange rate is less than the theoretical exchange rate, we have to use reverse cash and carry arbitrage. And if the forward exchange rate is greater than the theoretical exchange rate, we are going to use cash and carry arbitrage. So we will prove this with an example. Okay, take down this example. Okay, using this equation, calculate the theoretical forward price.
Recording stopped.
What is the theoretical forward? Actually, you can call it theoretical forward exchange rate.
Recording
Okay,
in
let's see the
progress.
answers. The spot exchange rate. So you can see here, the domestic country, according to this example, that is US. So we normally, this is the direct method of writing an exchange rate, right? In Sri Lanka, how we write it, 1 USD equals 202 LKR, right? So that means Europe is the foreign country, Euro is the foreign currency, and USD is the domestic currency, right? So the spot exchange rate, that is 0.95, and this into how much? Yes, this into 1 plus interest rate of the domestic country. Interest rate of the domestic country 0.07, and that divided by 1 plus interest rate of the foreign country 0.045. And there is a special thing that you need to consider, the number of days, right? Because these are annualized domestic interest rate. These are annual rates. So you have to consider about the days. Therefore, you cannot take this 7% as it is. So you have to get it like this. This 7% is for 365 days. So what should be the interest rate for 144 days? Because that is the forward, the time period of the forward agreement. Here also the same. You have to multiply that by 144 and divide by 365. If 0.045 or 4.45 is for 365 days, how much is the rate for 144 days? Calculate and tell me the answer. Right, I've got two answers, but it seems like they forgot to consider about the time period. Therefore, can you make the correction and send me the correct answer?